found many people of Asian descent living overseas. A Facebook group called Subtlation Traits has become a cultural phenomenon. Its jokes and memes, especially about life as a first-generation migrant, have made the page wildly popular. Almost a million people have joined the group since it began in September. The posts, which can be made by anyone, have also sparked conversations about cultural identity. Its rapid success has stunned the group's founders, 9 Chinese Australian high school students who live in Melbourne. We were always sharing memes and jokes about Asian culture, and growing up in a foreign country, and kind of just wanted a place to share them together. Co-founder Kathleen Zhao
18
tells the BBC. Angu
18
Another founder says they were thrilled when the group hit 1,000 members, but it's just insane. We did not think at all that it would get this big. So serious, she says, referring to its growth into an online community for Asian diasporas. She says the initial idea had been to simply share jokes about family life, Asian cultural quirks, and bubble milk tea. There are a lot of memes about this very popular drink. The posts span a range of topics, but they often focus on Asian culture, as experienced by the children of migrants. That's why most members are young people from Australia, the United States, Canada and the United Kingdom, rather than those living in Asia. Ms. Zhao believes that the page is so popular because it identifies just little things in our lives that no one talked about before. Many memes are about household customs such as boiling tap water, far drinking, or using a finger to measure the perfect amount of water needed to cook rice. Other jokes center on the experience of being a first-generation Asian person in a Western society, and how we struggle, sometimes, to reach a balance between our two cultures. Says Ms. Gu, there are memes about not being Asian enough, bilingual mishaps, struggles with Chinese homework, rebelling against family rules and traditions. Then there are posts referencing experiences of casual racism, being made to feel not white enough. A common source of humor is Asian parents, who are stereotypically portrayed as cautious, strict and overbearing. As a Chinese Australian millennial, I burst out laughing at one of the group's most popular posts. It was captioned, "One day my old mother, I did not eat breakfast." It bore an uncanny resemblance to text from my own mother, particularly phrases like, "I did not have a good sleep last night because of this." Ms. Gu says the page is designed to be relatable. Some users have sent the administrators messages of thanks. One girl said it was the first time she felt like a sense of belonging. She says, Ms. Zhao says the page helped her realize her experiences were common. Growing up in a foreign country, it's just something you do not talk about because you are afraid that people will not understand you, or that you will be made into a minority. She says, like other internet groups, which attempt to offer insights on cultural identity, there are some inherent challenges. Some initial criticism suggested that the group was not inclusive of all Asian cultures, as most posts related to East Asia. Ms. Gu says the administrators have since prioritized including more diverse content, and in the group's rules, of which there are 5, because 4 is an unlucky number in Chinese culture, users are encouraged to be inclusive to all Asian races. Other critics have said that memes about tiger parents are bad, driving serve to reinforce negative stereotypes. One user on Reddit equated the humor to internalized racism and self-hate. Ms. Gu acknowledges that some of the humor plays off stereotypes, but argues that most post makers have generally come to terms with their cultural identity. They understand the balance, she says. Such posts can also help people to experience potentially negative experiences in childhood in a more humorous and positive light, like a healing through humor. She adds that the page has also deepened her own cultural pride, something she had not expected. I hope it gives others the confidence to not be so shy about their culture, she says. A popular tourist attraction has become the latest Chinese company to show solidarity with Huawei's chief finance officer, Meng Wanzhou, who was arrested in Canada on 1 December. Shannon Mountain Scenic Park, in eastern Hainan province said it would waive the $9.65 ticket fee for anyone carrying a Huawei phone. Ms. Meng, who was given bail in Canada, faces extradition to the United States on charges of breaking Iran sanctions. Her case has upped tensions with China. Use Huawei phones. Shoot grand photos on the mountain. A notice on the Shannon Park's social media account said, "We wish friends around the world who support Huawei's success and bliss." The offer would last until 29 December, the South China Morning Post reported. But it was met with some criticism among China's social media users, who claimed it was discriminatory. Huawei phone owners are being offered other enticements too. They can get a 20% discount at a bar in Beijing. Seen in Beijing, bring a Huawei phone and get 20% off. Similar to this story we covered yesterday, https://QXL19YPQLPIC. Twitter.com Sokolov. End of Twitter post by @LuOceanG. At least one firm has threatened to penalize anyone buying Apple products. A few days ago, Manpad Shenzhen-based LED display manufacturer offered subsidies to any employees buying Huawei phones. It also pledged to fine anyone who bought an Apple iPhone. United States prosecutors allege Ms. Meng, 46, used a Huawei subsidiary called Skycom to evade sanctions on Iran between 2009 and 2014. They also allege she publicly misrepresented Skycom as being a separate company from Huawei, and that she deceived banks about the true relationship between the two companies. Ms. Meng, who is the daughter of Huawei's founder, has denied any wrongdoing and said she will contest the allegations. Life of Huawei's high-flying heiress. The United States has been investigating the Chinese telecoms giant, the world's second-largest smartphone maker, since 2016, believing that it used Skycom to bring United States manufacturing equipment and millions of dollars in transactions to Iran in violation of sanctions. Ms. Meng's detention comes amid an increasingly acrimonious trade dispute between Washington and Beijing. China is angry at her detention, saying she has not violated any laws. Beijing has threatened severe consequences unless Canada releases the executive. Since her arrest, 2 Canadians, a former diplomat and a businessman, have been detained in China on suspicion of harming national security. United States President Donald Trump said last week that he might intervene in the United States Justice Department's case against Ms. Meng if it would serve national security interests. I'll help achieve a trade deal with China if I think it's good for what will be certainly the largest trade deal ever made, which is a very important thing. What's good for national security? I would certainly intervene if I thought it was necessary, he told Reuters news agency. Canada reacted by urging Mr. Trump not to politicize the situation. Our extradition partners should not seek to politicize the extradition process or use it for ends other than the pursuit of justice, Foreign Minister Chrystia Freeland said. 2 Scandinavian women tourists have been found dead in Morocco with cords to their necks, the country's interior ministry said. Both bodies were found near the town of Imleo in the High Atlas mountain range, near the foot of North Africa's highest peak, Mount Tepco. The women, from Denmark and Norway respectively, have not yet been named. A police investigation has been launched into their deaths, the Interior Ministry statement said. The United States military says it has killed 62 fighters from the Islamist group Al-Shabaab in 6 airstrikes in Somalia. 5 airstrikes on Saturday killed 32 militants, and a further 2 on Sunday killed 28. It said in a statement. These were the deadliest air attacks in Somalia since November 2017, when the United States said it had killed 100 militants.